From the tall grasses, a sudden scream, a sharp crack of bone as the band of Homo erectus scrambled upright, spears raised, naked feet slipping in dew. The thunder of hooves echoed, a wounded zebra thrashing, the band's prey, but now the real danger arrived. A pair of spotted hyenas emerging from the bush. In that heartbeat, the hunt became a fight for survival. The group had been tracking the zebra since first light, machetes of stone and wooden spears in hand. They were driven by hunger, but also by necessity. Their hides thinned, children's clothes patched, water carried in broad leaves from the river. This day, they had hoped to secure the flank of the herd near the river bend, to fill their bellies and fortify their fire circle for the coming storm. Instead, they found themselves defenders. The leader, Garo, braced a stone hand axe, shaped with both faces, the hallmark of his species' tool culture. His legs were long, strides sure, built for this terrain of mixed savanna and thorn woodland, where he and his tribe had thrived. Scholars today believe Homo erectus groups like his were well adapted to open grasslands and the mixed mosaic of woodland, not simply forest or plain. The first hyena lunged toward the bleeding zebra. Garo shouted. The younger hunters flanked left, club in one hand, torch stub in the other. The firelight cracked at the edge of their camp. The hyenas skulked, tongues flicking, ready for the herd's frightened crash to send them scurrying into kill mode. In that moment, Garo remembered the bitter taste of famine last season, when the rains failed and the river shrank, forcing the tribe deeper into the thornbush maze. He couldn't bear that again. With a cry, he charged, axes raised. The hyena reeled back, surprised by the ferocity of upright hunters. One of the younger ones struck its flank. It yelped and turned tail. The zebra, still alive, stumbled down the bank toward the water. As Garo moved to finish the kill, thunder pealed, dark clouds gathering over the Rift Valley horizon. The storm they had prayed to avoid was coming. The huntsman's call echoed through the grass. They secured the body of zebra, bound the leg with cord fashioned from sinew, carried it back toward the river wading pool, using broad banana leaves to ferry water from shallows, an old trick taught by ancestors. The thunder rolled again, deeper, closer. That night would not be calm. As they crossed onto higher ground, a rival band of hominins, likely early Homo sapiens scouts, appeared on the ridge, thin silhouettes against the battered sky. Their spears glinted, Garo's heart hammered. Conflict. The groups eyed each other across the gap of riverbed and scrub. Hunger drives cooperation. Fear triggers conflict. The two bands had coexisted, sometimes trading tubers and hides. But now the zebra haul raised stakes. This kill might feed both or leave none. The rival group advanced, calling war cry through the swirling dust. Garo signaled his hunters, "Hold." They crouched behind a fallen log, sharpened hand axes at the ready. The first lightning forked across the sky. Rain pelted down. Visibility dropped. Voices were lost in the squall. Then a flash of spearlight, a grunt, a scramble. The fight erupted in the sheets of rain. Garo swung his axe, the stone blade biting into rival's hide jerkin. The rival cried out, dropped the carcass leg, and fled, stumbling into the tall grass where the rain-dark silhouette of a charging saber-toothed cat lurked. In their escape, the rival band disrupted the predator's ambush. They became prey. Garrow's band pressed the advantage, reclaimed the kill, dragged it toward their cave shelter. But the prairie storm had cleared ravines, floods gathered, and the river was rising. They reached the mouth of a shallow cave carved by the river's edge. Inside, they built a hearth, piled dry wood found under overhangs, struck flint until sparks caught fat-rich tinder. Fire roared up, warming their soaked hides. The carcass was hung by rope from an overhanging rock, kept off the damp floor. They roasted slices of zebra, the fat crackling. One of the younger ones checked their leaf containers of water. The leaves had begun to tear. They patched them with animal hide strips. Improvisation survival demands. That night, the storm raged outside. Winds howled, lightning cracked, and the savanna became a river of mud and shadows. Garrow lay awake, clustered near the small fire, watching the men take turns on lookout. Predators would seize the chance when the fire faded. In his mind flickered glimpses of earlier days, when his ancestors, the leaner, long-armed Australopithecus afarensis, stood upright at dawn, just beginning to walk the grasslands. The transformation lay in his limbs, his tools, his fire, his tribe. Dawn came with a brittle chill. The storm had carved gullies in the terrain. Their path to the waterhole was blocked. The river swollen, they had to trek inland, deeper into thorn forest patch. There, gathering tubers, berries, and roots would be riskier. Leopards lurked in the forest edge, and snakes coiled beneath fallen logs. One returned with breath ragged. The path had been cut by fresh lion paw prints, large, recent. They subsisted that day on plant food harvested under watchful eyes. Garrow used a sharpened stone-flaked tool to dig tubers. Other men collected berries and wild onions. The food was meager compared to yesterday's zebra, but it filled the gap. That night they returned to camp with vigilance up. The shadow of the lion prowled the periphery. At midnight, the lion charged. Its roar shook the cave mouth. The fire flickered low. Hunters grabbed spears. Torches flared. One struck the lion's flank. It howled and backed away into shrub. The tribe counted their heartbeats until dawn. Garrow realized life on the savanna was war. Against storms, beasts, rival bands, hunger itself. Yet they held the tools, the fire, the tribe. In time, the seasons changed. The grasslands shrank under shifting climate. Woodlands expanded. Garrow's children's children would carry lighter loads, build more efficient tools. Some would be the early Homo sapiens who walked further, migrated out of Africa, carried memory of this struggle. On the final night of this telling, Garrow stood by the dying fire outside the cave entrance. The wind had fallen. The stars shimmered overhead. He felt the pulse of his tribe, the rhythm of survival in his veins. He closed his eyes and for a moment sensed the dawn of ancestors, upright primates crossing open grass, scratching for tubers, scanning the horizon for the predator's glare. And yet, the story is not over. As the embers die, Garrow lifts his gaze toward the open plains beyond the woodland edge, where new prey wander, where fresh challenges wait. The migration of herds, the shifting of seasons, the arrival of new tribes. Tomorrow he will stand, spear in hand, hand axe hanging at his belt, ready to lead his band into whatever fate the savanna writes for them. Because in the end, survival is the saga. The fire, the stone, the tribe, they endure. The roots of our resilience run deep in that night, in that fight, in that dawn. If you feel the echo of those first hunters in your own heartbeat, share this story, subscribe, like, and join us on the next chapter of our journey through time. Because our transformation began long ago, and its legacy is still written in us.